Hi guys, I am at home in Kerry for 5 nights-ish, 4 nights left. My parents are away, so I have the house to myself and my sister is here kind of between her house and here, so there's kind of always someone in the house at least, but I mostly have it to myself during the day. But I got home last night and there's nothing in the fridge at all, like there's no plant milks or anything, or like any bread or anything like that, obviously because my parents are traveling, so I'm gonna go to the shop. But I don't have my car. I came down from Dublin with my sister, so I didn't bring my car, so I have Dad's Jeep that smells like a farmer. It is his work Jeep, like he uses this for like all kind of jobs, but it's like, if you don't know what a farmer's Jeep smells like, I can't tell you what it smells like, but it smells like that. So I'm gonna just maybe vlog over the next few days, just kind of, I'm hoping that my time in Kerry these few days, having time by myself, I do have family things and things to see, but I have a lot of time by myself. I can do things like go to the beach, just read, maybe do some meditation, just kind of anchor again after, this was a very busy, I was going to say start to the year, it's October, like, but for now I need to go to the shop and get some bits, and I'm nervous about driving this car. Where do I, oh yeah, I have driven this car before, or this Jeep before, but I'm not used to the height of Jeeps, so we'll see how it goes. I will talk to you soon. Okay, so I am working, oh my god, I just kicked the camera. Let's try that again. Hi, I'm working from home. I love working from home. I love how comfy you can be. I work from home 2 days a week, but I do love working from home in Kerry. Even though I don't have my office, and I don't have 2 screens, and I forgot how much I rely on 2 screens and a keyboard and a mouse and all of those things, but I really just like being comfy and cozy. But I'm working from home, but it's technically my lunchtime now, so I try to use my lunchtime for like, when I'm working from home, for like life admin and things, because I have some meetings after lunch. So I am going to continue editing a vlog. My last video was put up so late. I'm behind in uploading vlogs because my computers died and my memory cards had to be recovered and all of this thing. It was just one of those kind of panics. I say that like I didn't absolutely like cry about it, but I did save all the footage, like that. I had the footage backed up. I had no way of editing and no way of uploading it, or a lot of it needs to be converted to different file sizes, and I didn't have any way of doing that. So I'm now working on a vlog from July. It's October. Well, it's filming this vlog, and then I filmed a vlog last weekend. So my aim is, if I finish this vlog and get it up today, or tomorrow, but I'd like to get it up today, then I can import the footage from the last weekend's vlog and start editing that as I continue this vlog. This is where I'm going to try, now that I have like the tech kind of sorted again, I'm trying to be a bit more, I suppose, consistent really, and just, because I really like editing. Like I struggle with like writing editing because it takes so much brain power. Video editing takes power too, but it's such a more relaxing activity. Probably because I'm just presenting my life and I'm much less conscious of whether I'm coming across well than if I'm trying to present a character. Like, I'm much happier if people dislike me versus disliking a character I'm writing. So I'm hoping I'll be able to be more consistent, especially also in all of that, having the move and the house and the eviction and all of those things. So I'm really hoping this next few days I can just kind of calibrate myself and get back down to, I don't know, I was gonna say to business, but I mean more like routine. I also love drinking coffee with a straw because I'm really afraid of staining my teeth, and I can't do that in the office because I think it looks really odd, even though the guys in the office really wouldn't care. But I I know that my sister told me I was gonna have lines as if I smoked because I like use a straw so much, and I was like, I'd rather that but have like white teeth. And also I have like such a mental block about damaging teeth and things like that. I keep kicking my camera, I'm sorry, I have a tripod out and I'm not used to it. So I'm gonna let these files convert, continue editing over lunch, and get up and make some lunch in a little bit. But otherwise I'm gonna just continue doing some notes and things for work. Sorry, I turned on the camera and didn't realize I looked like an absolute worm with my hood up. But hi guys, it's the next morning, and yesterday I did go for a bath. I also spent a lot of time with my grandparents, so I didn't really film. But it is the next morning. I'm off work today, so I've just woken up, which I feel like is probably doesn't need to be stated. But I feel not great today, which has taken me by surprise because I've been so consistent with like say exercise and sleep and things this last 2 weeks-ish and things, but I obviously with chronic illness things just happen. I always find that if I feel like a 5 out of 10 I can keep going, and I know that comes from years of being at like a 2 out of 10 and having to keep going. But I woke up this morning in a strange kind of way where my muscles are locked, like my back is, the only way I can describe it is it feels like my back and my ribs have been layered with cement, that every time I move gets a bit tighter. That's part of the neurological stuff that I haven't really gone into detail with, but I am trying to get help with. I'm currently being looked at for a muscular myopathy condition, or I think there's a few possibilities that are kind of genetic abnormalities that are causing this muscle tightness, but I have a lot of muscle spasms and spasticity in general, so I'm really locked a lot of the time. But when I use my medication and I exercise and things, it's pretty good. And I did all of that yesterday. I didn't do a rigorous exercise, but I did some yoga and I thought that usually helps. But today, I don't know, it just feels real bad. I also feel really dehydrated though. So here's where Addison's disease comes into it, where I just don't know what causes what, if that makes sense. Yeah, I suppose Addison's disease causes electrolyte imbalance, and I'm partially wondering if after the heat of the bath I didn't rehydrate enough, and that's caused my muscles to be tight, which has made any kind of muscular condition I might have, it's amplified the like severity of it. But either way, I have things I need to do today. I'm seeing my friends today. I'm staying over at their house. So I'm going to take my electrolytes. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to have to like unlock this. I might go to a gym in town. I wonder if that might be a good idea, because I feel like I need a rowing machine to almost crack this cement. Exercising in the gym and lifting weights hurts in another way, because it's like breaking cement. It hurts. Like you have to break cement for something to be flexible again. But I think I can't twist right now. I can't turn. I can turn. I just have to turn like my whole body. Which is, it's frustrating considering I've had so many like MRIs and scans and things that show that my disc health and all that is really good, and like there's no damage. I've had every MRI. I've had so many in the last year, with dye, without dye, all those things. So that's why they obviously are looking at whether it's muscular, because they did think my muscles looked abnormally really tight, and I have spinal straightening in the top of my neck, from evident on my MRIs from excessive spasticity and things, and having my head kind of pulled to one direction. So I might, what time is it now? It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, I might go to the gym. I'm gonna eat first though and see how I feel. I really wish we had a rowing machine here. That's such a privileged thing to say. But either way, I will catch up with you guys later when hopefully I am more flexible. We'll see. I think I might have overfilled it. It might not look it. Well, it doesn't look it. But I am ready to go to the gym or to do exercise here. I'm waiting to see how I feel post-coffee. But I have also taken a muscle relaxant. I don't like taking muscle relaxants during the day because I find they make me really foggy. They don't make me foggy, that's not accurate. They make my reaction speed low. But I don't think I'm driving today, and also I took kind of like a quarter of my usual dose, and that's usually fine to drive on. But I think I can feel that slightly relaxing the muscles in my ribs. So I'm sitting down and having my coffee and waiting for that to really hit. And in the meantime, I'm on my website, and I'm updating a blog on my website about my health, like a health update. So I'm gonna put that up, post that, and then go back to editing the vlog, and then see where I feel after that, and we'll see how I'm doing. But I know the lighting is really bad here and things in this angle, but I'm just really feeling 4.5 to 5 out of 10 today. Okay, that YouTube video is finally edited and exporting. It'll probably be exporting until I am 90. But I think I'm going to do my exercises here. I think my muscle relaxant has kicked in enough, but first I'm going to have a Dior, which is, I think they're probably in Ireland and the UK, I suppose. Maybe Dior in Europe as well. But it's essentially an electrolyte powder that I used to need to have on prescription, but now I don't, because I don't need to take them as often. I used to need them like 4 times a day, but I do think I'm dehydrated maybe after the bath last night. So I'm hoping this will at least make sure things don't get worse, even if it doesn't make them get better, if you get me. Yeah, we'll see. Hi guys, it's the next day and I've come back from staying at my friend's, and it's like 9 a.m. She had work and my other friend had to catch a flight, so I drove her to Kerry airport. And I'm actually really glad to be up this early because I have so much writing and things to do. But yesterday was really fun, but what we did do is we got our ears pierced. I already had my ears pierced, so I got a second piercing that I also had before, and that closed, and then we got a third. So this ear, I won't lie, is throbbing because it's got the 2 piercings. So I'm just trying to clean them, but I have no idea if I'm cleaning them right or anything. Like, it is what it is, do you know? So she did say this would hurt more this side because I had the second piercings before and they closed, but this one closed badly, and I knew it closed badly at the time. I think it got infected, and she was like, you have scar tissue, so I'll just puncture the scar tissue. And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't know if that was how you're meant to do it, but fair enough. So that was really fun. And then we watched Anyone But You on Netflix and went to sleep at like 2 a.m. and had to get up at like 8. So I'm really tired, but I've already had a coffee and I'm waiting a present for my ADHD meds to hit. And then I need to do some writing. So what I need to do today is I need to do a PhD research plan for a project myself and a colleague want to work on, and about ADHD in women, autism and ADHD. I also want to, sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I also need to work on a submission to a publishing house with the first 3 chapters of my manuscript. There's work on that is so light because like the 3 chapters are done, the manuscript's done. I've done so many drafts in the manuscript. But I feel like all of the work you do prior to talking to a publishing house is exceptionally, I mean, it's just based on your judgment. So there's so much work to do after. So I really just want to make sure that's clean. And then I want to, what was I going to do? Oh, I need to look at my to-do list. But the PhD and the submission is kind of the big thing. So I'm going to wait for my ADHD meds to hit. So I've done the things like I've cleaned, I've put on a wash and stuff. Because I tried to do like my mindless tasks whilst I wait for my meds to hit. But overall, it was really, really nice to see my friends. It is really nice just in general to see them, but it's also strange because it also makes me like miss, and I know long distance friendships is a thing, but also at the same time we're only we're not a couple of hours apart. One of my friends works in Kerry, where I'm from. I work in Dublin, then our other friend is doing medicine in Italy. So we probably see her the least. But it was really, really nice, and just to, I suppose, have like a girly evening, I guess. So, but now I need to get some work done. And I was going to go to a coffee shop in town because something about having to be like awake and dressed and around people keeps me going, but I'm just was having a moment where I was like, I just am so not in the mood to be wearing clothes that are in any way sensory uncomfortable. So I came home and changed into my fluffies. So yeah, let's get going. Today I also need to go up and see my grandparents again, and I might talk about that later a little bit. And I'm going to a parish event tonight that is like fundraising for the local hurling club that my cousin is taking part in. So if you're not from Ireland, I don't really know how to explain what it will be, but it's essentially Battle of the Parishes, where a load of local people come together in different groups and they all perform a musical theatre piece for like 8 minutes each, and then you vote for each person or each group you want by paying in like a tenner, and that puts money towards like the hurling and camogie club and things and GA club. So it'll be really funny. It'll be also like everyone I went to school with and stuff, and that always stresses me out because I feel like I didn't really have friends in school. In primary school I was bullied, but I had like, it was a small school. A large portion of the school were my first cousins. So it was a really strange vibe. So I always, for some reason, I'm in my 30s, but I still get a little bit anxious about seeing those people. But yeah, so I'm going to hope these stop throbbing. Although I did sleep on them, and that was not a good idea. But my friend, I was sharing a bed with my friend Aoife, and she also got hers pierced, so we could only lie facing each other, and the bed was so small we were like nose to nose, and I was like, this is too much. So I rolled over and just chose to lie on it. But yeah, I'm gonna get going, do some writing. I think I'm gonna focus on the writing first, the PhD after, because I'm feeling more anxious about the writing submission, to be honest. And I need to clear my mind, basically, and get that done. Hi guys. It is 25 to 12 on the same day, and my room is a mess. As you can tell, there's stuff everywhere. I feel like a mess, and I've just come home from that event I mentioned earlier with like my local parish event. I can't really remember what I said earlier, but it was essentially saying like it was a local event to kind of fundraise. It was going to be everyone I knew from school, and those things make me nervous and things, but I've just left early essentially. Like, it's over, but it's not over, I guess. Everyone's staying on, but I just couldn't do it, I guess, any longer. And I feel how I felt 1,000 times in life, where I just feel tired that I am who I am. And I know that's not what is helpful to say. I think it's probably helpful as an autistic person, as like just ADHD, whatever, neurodivergent, to obviously own who you are, and I certainly do. But there's some moments where I feel so potently different. And tonight was one of those reminders of those kind of nights that I've had many times that were much harder previous to diagnosis, because I didn't have a why for my sense of difference. So therefore I just had the conclusion I came into my head was I must be wrong, like there's wrongness in me. But tonight was like, it was so nice. It was hundreds of people in this hall that I've been in 1,000 times, that I worked at this hotel, I served weddings in this room where this event was on. My confirmation was at that hotel. Like, everything is, it was a really local night, and I just felt like I couldn't breathe, and it wasn't the people at all. And this is where I think back on how when I first went to the doctor about what I now realize was overstimulation, probably sensory overstimulation, and autistic burnout. But I felt such a level of like, I didn't know how to say it at the time, so I said I was socially anxious, because I knew they would take that and understand it. I knew that wasn't accurate. I knew it was maybe the closest thing, but I knew if I explained, actually, when I'm there, I don't care about talking to people. I love talking to people. I love seeing people from school. I'm happy to talk to people. I love seeing people around me having a good time. But I knew I couldn't explain that to them
with the nuance of saying, but it's the everything else that's the problem. And the everything else for me now, I realise, is this level of microscopic detail with which I view the world, and I cannot stop viewing the world this way. I really enjoy that detail on a day-to-day level of when it helps me do my job well. It helps me observe the world differently to do writing. It helps me be different. But I just, in that kind of setting, when you're sitting down watching a show that's loud, there's alcohol, there's lights, everyone is so heightened, I guess, and everyone is so displaying such overt senses and obvious indications that they're enjoying themselves, that you're so acutely aware you're missing these cues and you're not enjoying yourself. And then like you do have the thought of thinking, are people actually enjoying themselves as much, or are they just drunk, or are they pretending, or whatever? But either way, it doesn't matter, because you start thinking, well, why can't I just get drunk? Why can't I just pretend like they can pretend? And I think previous to diagnosis, my reality would have been that I would have gotten drunk. Whereas now, I know the solution is I need to leave. I need to reach my limit and let myself get to my limit if it's worth getting to the limit. But leave and be unapologetic about it. And I did, and I do, and my sister is amazing, as always. But it's just so, I don't know how to explain the detail which those settings involve, and maybe everyone is like this and everyone is better at processing the details, but I doubt it. Like, I felt like it's kind of like being in a room with maybe 500 people. There's music and lights and shouting and singing, and everyone's very like raucous, really. I still felt like I could hear and feel the hair growing out of everyone's scalps. Like that level of awareness of every single person in the room. Like I could feel just everything, and it feels like it's not happening over there. This detail isn't happening over there, it's happening near me. Everything is oppressively near, and all of the time it's this allness. And I feel probably sad for myself, sad for the past versions of me that didn't know this was why I felt this way, and therefore would drink and then be depressed and then be surprised I was depressed. You know, I feel for all of those me's, but tonight I just feel, it's a weird one. It's very hard to explain because I don't know how to explain it any other way than when I think back to when I was in school and I was really struggling. I was pre-diagnosis. I was doing things like displaying behaviours and things that now ultimately would be associated with probably like autistic burnout or meltdowns or whatever, particularly like traditionally autistic women. And I just felt like it's hard because, you know, my mom, if I was stressed about something, would just say, well, why don't you just not go? Why do you put this pressure on yourself to do this night out or do this thing? And I'd be like, no, I so acutely want to go. It's not like I want to go. I do want to go. And I do want to go and I want to have a laugh and everything. But it's like I can't unsee, unfeel, untaste, unsmell this microscopic detail coming off of every single human being or living thing, so animals, it doesn't matter, at all times, that it makes me nauseous. And it's almost like the volatility of energy coming off people when they are drinking obviously becomes heightened, and then because I'm not, and I acutely am not, I need to leave. So yeah, I don't really have anything grand to say. I just wanted to document this because sometimes I wonder, because I do feel at the same time, it's a mixture of feeling, I feel disappointed that I can't be this person who just can. And then I simultaneously feel such a level of rejection of that idea because I like who I am so much. And that's taken battle and that's hard work to like who I am. And I'm still working on it. But I wonder, part of me feels afraid because I'm like, will I be 90 years old and be surprised that I find my, I don't know, active retirement's bingo club or whatever is the equivalent at the time overwhelming? Am I still going to be surprised and disappointed that I can't be a person who can? Or at what point does the unapologetic nature at which I will take care of myself also transcend into how I feel about myself, not just what I actively do? Like, I'll honour myself with feelings around leaving these things, but I can't I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. Either way, it was still a really nice night. I am home now. I'm home. I'm gonna take off my makeup and do my routines like I've done 1,000 times before. When I come home from something, when I was younger, I would come home and I'd have to clean my entire room. I would have to disinfect my entire self, you know, even though I can't wash my hair tonight because my bloody ear piercings are so sensitive, and they told me to try to not wash my hair for the next day or two. So I'm gonna walk myself through those routines because they do actually make me feel better. And I'm gonna listen to the new Taylor Swift album whilst I do it. And I'm gonna fix my nails because that is an example of how stressed I was that I pulled off all of my fake nails except one. I can never get my thumbs off. And just so that I could, and I hate doing this because it's so bad for my nails, I ripped them off just so I could bite my nails down because I was so stressed. And I wasn't stressed, like it's not stress in the same way other people feel stress, because otherwise I would need an additional cortisol dosage. But it's like an emotional strain. It's actually almost a psychic strain, I think, by being psychically connected to every living thing all the time. And I just feel really, okay, I'm gonna do my routines. I'm gonna take care of myself. I really wish my parents were home. I'm 31 years old, but I so want a hug from my parents. Just to be like, I did this thing and I had the exact same reaction as I've had 1,000 times before. I should have known better, but I still had that same reaction and I feel stupid. And they would find a way to not make me feel stupid by reminding me that they like all of me. My sister is obviously the equivalent, but she's still at the event having a good time, as she should. So yeah, I'm gonna do my things. I'm gonna start to slowly dismantle the me that feels like this and allow time to, I guess, and it'll get better, hopefully. I'm getting my pre-bed meds ready. Well, actually, I just took my pre-bed meds, but I'm getting my morning meds ready, and as usual, I have them in my little tea light holder so I can reach over and grab them immediately and go back to sleep if needs be. This is especially important for weekends when I want to sleep in, but I can't miss my morning hydrocortisone dose, because obviously you need the maximum amount of cortisol that you need throughout the day first thing in the morning to help you get up. And I find if I sleep through this, my brain is exceptionally foggy. And sometimes I do have like cramping muscles and like nausea and things, but that hasn't happened in a while. But I'm also going to take a small 2.5 milligram dose now, which is technically, this is an odd time to be taking it because it's nearly 1 in the morning. When I was first diagnosed, and my endocrinologists were talking about different dosing and things of hydrocortisone, they would always say not to take it past like 6 p.m. because you would just not sleep that night. I have never found that to be true. I always feel if I try to stretch my evening dose when I feel physically like I need something, I don't sleep well at all. It's like I am waking up repeatedly parched and headachy and crampy, and I think my sleep quality is really poor. So technically, usually I've taken my last dose back at around 6 or like 4:30 maybe, which is fine. Usually I would wake up to take another dose at 4 a.m. Sorry, turn that off. But I would usually take my dose at 4 a.m. because generally that's when someone's natural cortisol starts to rise, is from 4 a.m. on. And I do need to get up at a decent time tomorrow to do work. But I am feeling potentially just a little bit off. I don't know if I feel fully off yet or anything, but I'm going to take a small dose because I can feel the certain kind of headache I have in my left temple. As I was about to touch my right temple as I said that. In my left temple, that's usually a sign that I just need a bit of a dose. So I wonder if I've just felt a little bit strained this evening, and it was really warm there and I kind of sweated a lot. So potentially it's only when I was cleaning and like showering and making sure I was kind of ready for bed, I realised, I was like, wait, actually I don't just feel emotionally strained, I feel physically just a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't want that feeling dragging on until tomorrow. So I'm going to take a dose now instead of at 4 a.m. And I absolutely, disclaimer of the century, I'm not a doctor, so don't do what I do, but I do find this is helpful on those kind of odd random days. Definitely don't need it all the time. So I'm going to go to bed now and put my brain to bed because I feel like I've just been thinking too much. Yeah, I need to go to bed. Okay. Okay. Good night. Hi guys, it is Sunday and I am at my desk. I have stripped my bed and I'm doing a load of washes today. I don't feel very productive today. I feel very, I suppose this is where I do question being combined type ADHD. So if you're not familiar with ADHD, there is, I suppose at present, as far as I understand, 3 types of ADHD. There's the inattentive kind, the hyperactive kind, and then a combination of the two. Historically in my family, there's is combination type. For me, my profile was kind of more interesting, I guess, and a little bit more spiky, where I am so far hyperactive in terms of activity and doing things all the time, and very little inattentive. But I do find, and I don't know if that's too much information, I do find depending on where I am in my cycle, that nugget of inattentiveness is amplified or not. So I feel like that's not working towards me today. So I tend to, at those times, panic about feeling inattentive or like less productive than usual. So I do things like that are really easy wins, like washing bedclothes and like admin tasks I need to do, like meal prep. So I've done those. But I'm sitting down now, I've had a coffee, and I need to take my next ADHD meds dose. So I'm going to take those, and I need to work on a submission. So yesterday I worked on the synopsis for this novel, and we'll call this novel Project Wildflower. So for Project Wildflower, I worked on the synopsis, and I worked on the query letter that's been requested, and I worked on the first 2 chapters. They want the first 3 chapters and things, and I'm just trying to make sure they're under the word count, and kind of, I'm overthinking it really. I should just submit, but my aim is to submit today. So I'm going to be working on that, I think, until probably late tonight. It's kind of got to be the priority because it's a very big deal. Like, as much as I talk about everything here, like my job, which I love, which I don't talk about obviously because that's private, but which is working with the disabled community, and I also talk about academia and being a PhD student.
balancing that with health and things. The bottom line of absolutely everything that I love is writing and storytelling. That's kind of what comes back. It doesn't even come back. It's just there always. And I'm always writing something. The only time in my life that became less was when I was really, really sick with, just prior to my diagnosis with adrenal insufficiency. And that really cut off. And now I recognise, obviously, my entire electrolyte balance, potassium, my magnesium, sodium and calcium were completely out of whack. And I didn't realise, I think, how much they have to do with your cognitive abilities. So I just felt like I couldn't conceptualize things. I remember feeling like I had been robbed of all creativity. And I think if you watch my early vlogs from 2023, I'm only just about getting that back at that point. But it is back now, but I have to juggle it with doing full-time job, part-time study, trying to have friends, a life, all those things. But it is still the most important thing possible. So I really need to focus on that submission and getting that done. So that is the aim for today. Thankfully, I do have the house to myself and I feel better after last night. I know I vlogged last night of just feeling uncomfortable about how I felt at the event last night. I don't feel like better about it in the sense that I think it's grand how I felt. Instead, I'm just like, it's fine. It is fine. It is what it is. I got to pivot my attention back to writing. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do a few admin-y bits that help me get into my laptop mind. I don't know if that makes sense. Where I need to focus on doing things in my to-do list. So I have my planner that I use. I also have a tiny little, very thin notebook that I put in the middle of my planner that is my to-do list. For that usually don't really have a timeline on them. They're like to-dos that I need to do. So I always try to do maybe 2 of these before I start getting into writing, because they're easy wins and they make me feel like I'm doing really well in life, and therefore I find I'm less judgmental of my writing. I'm aware that like I'm trying to balance, I suppose, almost like the psychological aspects of ADHD with this kind of things, but they do help. They really, really do help. So let's do that. Yes, let's go. I'm outside for a walk around the garden. That feels like that scene in Pride and Prejudice, where the 2005 version, where they're like, we'll take a turn about the room. But yeah, I am just sitting outside now because I feel I'm walking outside because I feel like I've been stuck in my room all day at my desk doing that novel submission, which I have been doing. And it's been really good, and I feel happy with the progress, like quite happy with it, but I've gotten really tired and I just needed to get up and walk around. But it's really cold. It's really nice though this evening. Like, you can't really see the sky because I've left it a bit late, but the sky was like this perfect pink. So I'm just walking around our yard in my ears to a jumper, and it is really cold, like it really feels like October, just to wake myself up because I still have some writing to do, but I just need a change of scenery. So just gonna wander around for a bit, but I do feel really happy with the progress I made. I had to reformat the first 3 chapters. I noticed something I do in writing is that where I would naturally put chapter breaks is not what I end up going with. I naturally end chapters when I am mentally done with it, rather than when it's appropriate to end a chapter. So my early drafts, the chapters end at such odd points. I know this about myself, so I always have to cut them and change them. But yeah, so I'm just gonna keep wandering around right now. Oh, it's cold, cold.